Coach Brown.
You can go, I guess, as in-depth or broad as you want, but just curious your philosophy, formation, how you run out there, how you like to play defensively.
Well, we want to be an attacking style defense. We want the top defense in the country this past season in Louisville, and I love to bring pressure. I love to drop 8 in coverage at times, but it's all dictated on what the offense is really good at. We try to do a great job of stopping what they do best, and make them go to other things. But we're 3-14 with the principles of similar like a 4-2-5, if you would say, because we have 5 DBs on the field at all times. That outside linebacker to the boundary, he's going to rush a good bit of the time. Sometimes he'll drop every now and then. Yasir Abdullah, who played for us last year, was one of the leaders in sacks this past season. But we're going to rush the passer as much as we can, and we're going to drop at times. But we're going to be a really attacking style defense, here at Cincinnati.
You lost one pace that obviously could have helped you. You still have a pace. What have you seen out of him and some of the other guys you've seen on tape or in person?
Well, I'm looking forward to working with Deshaun for sure. He brings a different dynamic to the game, especially within our scheme. We think he can play free safety, he can play the nickel position to the field, blitz him, do a great job in coverage, zone coverage, things of that nature. So I'm excited to get to work with him. He came in the office this morning while we was going over defense, and so I think he's excited as well. It hurts losing Ivan for sure. Would have loved to coach him, but I think he's going to make a good bit of money at the next level. He's done a great job here representing the University of Cincinnati.
What are your thoughts on the returning defensive line and Dante Corleone, one of the top-rated players by Pro Football Focus, Juwan Briggs deciding to come back? What's your expectation for them in year one under you?
I think right now that's probably the strongest point, of this defense as of right now. We'll continue to try to add to it and get some guys out of the portal to add to that defensive line. But I'm excited about those guys. You think about the things we've done at Louisville. With that D line, these guys are just as good. And I think that they're excited. They're in there every single day. Every day, I haven't seen anything like it. Wanting to continue to learn, get in there with Coach Walton, learning our scheme. But they're here working out. Over the break in December, they were here every day getting it in. And so those guys are very, very strong, athletic, and do a great job of stopping the run as well as getting to the passer. So I'm excited. They're excited. So I can't wait to get to work with those guys as well.
So in that 3-4, is it the outside back or is he more of a coverage guy? Because you mentioned the 5 DBs on the field.
So that DB to the field, he's more like a nickel, a true DB. We'll blitz him at times as well, and especially going into the Big 12 and even in our league last year in ACC, you getting teams now, man, it's like basketball on grass, right? So they're throwing the football all over the place. So you want to get a little bit more athletic guy to the field to be able to do some different things in coverage-wise and not just playing a good bit of zone. And I think that gives you the flexibility when you have 5 defensive backs on the field for the most part of the game. And it helps you do so many different things to give the offense a little bit of, questioning themselves. Hey, what is he bringing him? Is he in zone? Is he in man? So that's what the 3-4 gives you. You have no idea where the 4th rusher, the 5th rusher, or maybe even the 6th rusher is coming from. But it helps to have another DB out there on the field, and that's that guy to the field.
Personally, how do you feel that the returners have either embraced or whatever system and you as a person and coach?
Well, first time meeting them was on Sunday. So, it's kind of hard to say. But I think right now they're excited. They're excited for the new change. Was able to meet with those guys for a good bit the other night. So they're geeked up, I think. When you think about the amount of sacks we had, number 1 in the country in sacks, number 3, I think, maybe in turnovers, and we were top in ACC in mostly a lot of categories. So with those guys seeing those stats and seeing the production that they could possibly have, I think they're really excited. And I think you can tell by the amount of guys that continue to come up to our offices, each and every day, just wanting to meet and ready to learn and eager to learn. So I'm excited.
You mentioned Walter. How key is it to have a guy that did it on the field and he's now coached it? And then Also two-part, I guess, Kerry Combs, another local guy here. Does he share his coffee with anyone, or he's pretty geeked up most of the time?
Well, I'll start with that one first with Kerry. Number one, he's a great human being. I've been knowing Kerry for a while, and when you think about great coaches across the country, he's no doubt one of them. And I'm so elated to be able to work with him and be able to share that back in with him as well is something that I look forward to. As far as the coffee, he's going to get him some coffee now. That's a must. He let me know that this morning. He loves some coffee, so he'll share it. He'll share it at times if need be. But he's also a snack king as well. So that's the snack. You go to his office, he's going to have some snacks in there. But he's a great guy. I look forward to working with him. Walt, it's great to have a guy that played here. The blood, sweat, and tears, here at the University of Cincinnati, that laid it out there on the line, for this community as well. It's great. I'm so happy to be able to have Walt, great coach, great teacher, understands, our scheme basically already. He's doing a great job of just learning on his own. But he's a great young coach, and hopefully we can keep him around here as long as we can because he's a bright spot that I think he has a really, really great future ahead of him. Not only just as a position coach, but I think he could end up being a coordinator at some point. He's very, very sharp. So it's great to have him around. He knows the law of the land. Been recruiting here in the state of Ohio for a long time. So I'm excited to have him on the staff as well.
You and Coach Satt both talked about the success the defense had last year. What sparked that? What brought that together? And year 4 for you guys?
Well, I think in my time, at the University of Louisville, I was the 4th defense coordinator that they had, in 4 years. So I think recruiting had a little bit to do with it. Guys recruiting for that scheme. But I think it took us time to get our roster where we wanted it, and I think year 4. It showed, and as well as being able to get guys out of the portal helped as well. So when you're able to get guys out of the portal that have played, building and developing the guys that you got from high school, it showed. It really did. And so the guys our coaching staff did a tremendous job of getting those guys ready and game planning wise, practice wise, all that. And the guys went out there and performed, and so it was great to see.
How strange was that bowl game? You got guys on both ends. Do you get anything from it? Is it a wash? Or I know you guys were recruiting most of the time.
Yeah, it was strange, of course, with the situation that arose, us being here in Cincinnati and, all those wild players at Louisville. I watched the game at home, so it was kind of just, okay, well, I'm just going to watch it as a fan, and rooting for both sides of the ball because, players involved, kids involved. But it was a little strange.
At this point in the year, how behind do you feel like you are, especially with the team going into the Big 12?
I don't think we're too far behind. I do think we do have a good bit of pieces to fill, but I don't think we're too far behind. I think when you look at the defense side of the ball, the need is, in the secondary and then replacing some backers and then adding a couple pieces to the front that's going to be able to help us compete in the Big 12. But I don't think we're that far behind, but we are behind just a little bit.
How far off is the talent from where it needs to be to compete in the Big 12? You kind of touched on it a little bit there.
I don't think we're far off with the talent as well either. I think they did a great job of competing and recruiting some guys here that could play at the Power 5 level. I think you just got to continue to add, and I think Coach Satt hit on it earlier, is depth. I think that's the biggest thing. Is being able to have depth to be able to rotate some guys, especially on the defensive side where, you're going to have so many teams that are up-tempo teams that you have to play a good bit of guys on the football field each and every day, each and every game. So we have to do a better job, of building that depth, and I think that's what we're doing with the portal and with some high school guys that we think can come in and play for us.
They ran a 3-man front here past few seasons. Seems like a little bit different in terms of what you guys did with shifting and movement. How do you compare maybe what they did here to what you're going to do with the 3-man?
Well, I think, a good bit of time they had, most of the fourth rusher being, Ivan sometime and pressuring him. We'll still do some of those things. I think you know, our defense schematically compared to, you know, this past season and past seasons before is that we play with a, you know, a true outside linebacker and not just a true 3-3 stack. So it's a little bit different coverage-wise as well, some, you know, and I think we pressure a little bit more than they have in the past. But, you know, it's sight unseen right now. I hadn't worked with these guys yet, so we'll see where we are at the end of spring ball.
Coach Sapp mentioned you've been with him for a while, back to App State. What do you
Yeah.
like about working with him?
Awesome human being, a God-fearing man. What you see right here is what you're going to get each and every day. I think a secretary asked the other day, she was like, "Is he always like this?" You know, and he is. He's just an even-keeled guy that, you know, allows his coaches to do his thing, their thing, and, you know, allows our family to be here. I mean, heck, I'm able to take my kids to school in the morning, you know, if I want to, and that's, you know, you don't see that a lot over the coaching profession. But he just does a great job of, you know, relationships with the coaches, players, you know, getting the guys to, you know, give it each and everything they have out there on the football field. I mean, you think about our days at App State, coming from an FCS program to an FBS, and not taking a step back. I mean, we won multiple conference championships. What we did at Louisville, they had a 2-10 season previously, and you know, going 8-5 the very next season. So he has a tremendous amount of respect, I think, you know, in his profession, not only from guys that he worked with, but a lot of guys across the profession as well. So he's a great human being.
Any more? Thanks, Coach.
Good. I appreciate you.